Little NFL update for you, Stephen A. The NFL announced this morning that the opening game to the season will be the defending champs, the Eagles, against Dallas and Philadelphia. Stephen A., did the NFL make the right call with this
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. It'll be an incredible rating, no doubt, way to open the season. But an NFC East rivalry game, if that's what you want to call it, because obviously the Eagles are the champions and the Cowboys are who they are. But the point is that I want to see a few games under their belt before a division rivalry takes place, since it means so much. I would have liked to see Dallas against a Kansas City or Baltimore or something like that, where you're not being affected by a divisional race. I don't think divisional races should open the season. That's my only issue.
I think it's a good litmus test early for those Dallas Cowboys.
No, I think you go to training camp or whatever. I mean, whatever the Eagles are on week one.
Don't tell me no. It's my opinion.
I don't think the football gods could have given Stephen A. a better gift than the first game of the season.
Because he could just go down 95?
And it's the post game, on X, social media. That it's perfectly set up for that, by the way.
but be clear. Bless you.
That was bless. It's a cough, Stephen A.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be just easy. By the way, I've always felt that way.
I said, why is it that
you're just blessing me because I can't stop coughing? Thank you for that.
Oh, who said that? Who came up with that?
I'll take all those blessings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for those.
Take them. Don't debate with me, and I'll give you a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you. I need the blessing.
That's all it is.
Oh, it's a struggle bus here this morning, everybody. But I got some breaking news for you, so let's get.
NFL, you like that?
I do like that.
You like that?
That works.
How about some vitamin D? The Dallas Cowboys open up the season with who? The Philadelphia Eagles.
Just take it away.
September 4th. Vitamin D. You see what I'm working with here? You just stick around. You might get healthy by the end of the show here. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, hello to 2025. We are starting early on a Thursday night to open the season. Yes, CeeDee Lamb has a new running mate. Brian Schottenheimer, please do something good in year one. You're taking on the champs. Jalen Hurts and the crew, of course, coming off that Super Bowl, that second one there for Jeffrey Lurie and the city of brotherly love. This is the first time since, of course, that one they had previously, but now we get to see the NFC East rivals opening up the season there, as I mentioned, September 4th on NBC, that Thursday night. Now here it is. Of course, last season, Philly beat Dallas twice. Cowboys had a lot of injuries. A lot of things happened that season. We're not going to talk about that. The Cowboys have won the last 7 games, though, and playing on Thursday night, so that is a good omen. But Philly has won the last 3 home games versus Dallas. So this is the first schedule release in the NFL, but it's not the last, because take a look at it. Outside of that, we'll get more games throughout the week, of course, starting tomorrow as well, those international games. And then Wednesday, CBS will release theirs, and the full schedule coming out on Hump Day. On Wednesday, and we are here to get locked in, and nobody better to get us locked in than who? My guy, Ryan Wilson. Fresh off the mock drafts of 1,000, what was it, like 4,025? I think that's the number you're up to, right? That's something like that, right? Somewhere.
That sounds about right. Yes, sir.
All right, well, now we're on to Sunday here, because now we have the first official game of the year, the Cowboys and the Eagles, starting us on Thursday night. Your reaction to this matchup?
Hey, Brandon, good to see you. By the way, Zach is one of those people that probably in middle school came to school sick in September all the way through June. Like, he was always sniffling about something. So I'll be praying for Zach.
I'm healthy.
Since issue.
This guy had no voice on Friday and didn't work.
You hear that, Raz?
No. Can I drink some water?
Go ahead. Congestion. Go ahead, Ryan. Zach, your point. Take it away. Go ahead, Ryan. Your reaction.
Yeah, Zach, I need you to go see. I need you to go to see the nurse. Go down the hall, go talk to the school nurse, and then come back here when you get some lozenges. All right, look, Brandon, that's enough about Zach. Let's talk about your Dallas Cowboys. Look, man, you read the numbers, trying to make yourself feel better about how they have a chance in this game. And in their defense, in the last 10 years, they are 11-9 against the Eagles. Only 3-7 when they're in Philadelphia. So this feels like it's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be an NFC East matchup. We're going to see these two teams battle it out, and it'll be a great way to start off the season. But I do have some concerns about your team. You talked about Brian Schottenheimer, year one there. Jerry Jones made that announcement in the middle of the night going into the weekend a few months ago, because he didn't really want to talk about Brian Schottenheimer. Maybe he turns things around. I am excited about the prospects of George Pickens being able to catch passes from Dak Prescott alongside CeeDee Lamb. So that is also encouraging. encouraging. But this Philadelphia Eagles team is one of the best teams I can remember being assembled, and they're somehow better on paper than they were a few months ago when they won the Super Bowl after beating the pants off the Kansas City Chiefs. But all that said, the other thing to keep in mind, a little positive news for you. Again, excited about this matchup. But the last 2 Week 1 games on the road, Dallas Cowboys have won. They beat the Giants 2 years ago, beat the Browns last year. Unfortunately, they're not playing the Browns this year in Week 1, but they are playing the Eagles. And if they win this game, Brandon, you have every reason to be excited about your Dallas Cowboys, so that could be a great way to start off the season. 115 days from now, by the way, September 4th.
Oh, 115. So close, so close. Let me ask you this, though, Ron, because we always think about it when it's Week 1, win or lose, depending on who comes out on this one. What are some of those storylines that you might be watching, specifically with the Eagles? Because when you talk about defending champs, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Saquon, can he do it again? What are some of those storylines catching your eyes with them?
Yeah, so all those guys will be back, and all those guys were a big part of their success. Maybe one of the storylines we're not talking enough about just yet, and they'll probably get to that point as we get closer to training camp, is replacing Mekhi Becton along the offensive line. He left and signed elsewhere, and that could be a minor concern, but they are so incredibly stacked. Nakobe Dean being out could also be another storyline, the inside linebacker who hurt his knee, and that's why they drafted Jihad Campbell, traded up one spot from 32 to 31 with the Chiefs to get the Alabama linebacker. I would imagine he's going to make his way into that starting lineup probably relatively seamlessly, and that could be another fun storyline because insane athlete in the middle of that defense, along with all those insane athletes they drafted last year with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell in the secondary. I don't think there are many concerns on the offensive side of the ball outside of the Mekhi Becton story I just mentioned, but I think they're going to pick up right where they left off, and that's going to be the big thing. There's been no turnover at the coordinator position. Kellen Moore's gone, so that's one. But the other thing is that they got Jalen Hurts back. Nick Sirianni feels a little bit more comfortable in who he is, and of course they got all those playmakers coming back that you talked about, including Saquon Barkley.
All right, we'll see what Philly does here as they try to push it forward. Ryan Wilson is always pushing it forward, but he's not the only one because the fellas...
Not so fast. I'm not quite ready to say that. Unbelievable year a year ago, right? We know that he really surprised and exceeded the expectations heavily, but I'm not quite ready to put that title on Jaden Daniels as he gets ready for his second year. One thing we know about the National Football League is a very, very competitive league, and young players sometimes, especially early on in their career, it's hard to hit that stride of consistency of playing at a high level for a full season. And we saw that with C.J. Stroud. Remember C.J. Stroud's rookie year, individually speaking, outstanding. That led to team success, which led to a playoff push. They got to the playoffs in this second campaign, but as an individual, his numbers were not the same as they were during his rookie year. So let's see Jaden Daniels continue to stack great seasons after great seasons. But when you look at some of the other guys who we've seen and we know they are him at that quarterback position, it's hard for me to overlook a guy like Lamar Jackson. Even though Lamar Jackson did not win the MVP a year ago, Lamar Jackson threw for over 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns. He had a total of 5,000 yards from scrimmage. When you look at the 9-15 that he ran for and a total of 45 touchdowns, look at Josh Allen, the man who actually won the MVP. He had 40 total touchdowns in a season in which many people felt like he would show a decline because of the lack of notable names at the wide receiver positions. Those two players, in my opinion, they're the best dual quarterbacks in the National Football League, and they're playing at a peak level. Regardless of what is surrounding them, those two players, especially if you look at their 2024 campaign, night and day, regardless what happens in the draft, regardless what happens in free agency, I cannot pick a second-year quarterback over those two quarterbacks, as I mentioned, because their overall body of work has been more impressive and more consistent. And not to mention, what we saw in last year's campaign was 10 times better than what Jaden Daniels did. And that says a lot because Jaden Daniels was spectacular in 2024.
He was, but you're going experience over youth. It makes sense. I also learned in that interview, B-Mac, that you are a ketchup lover. So I know the next time you have a birthday or any type of party, I am getting you ketchup as a gift. You can check out that full interview with B-Mac on our YouTube page right now. It's really great. Do not change the subject, Jenny. I need to hear this Waffle House story when we go into break here. But before we we get there, take a look at the odds to win the Super Bowl. You will not see Michael Penix and the Falcons on this list, at least not right now to start. This is how it looks here in May. We have the Commanders highlighted there, though, at, what is that, plus 2,000? So not that far off, question mark? I'm just kidding. It's quite far off there. The Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fans across the nation, welcome back to the channel where we bring you the hottest takes, the boldest predictions, and the realest talk about everything happening in the NFL. And today we are rediving into a decision that has sent shockwaves across the football world. The NFL just announced that the 2025 season will officially kick off on Thursday night, September 4th, with one of the most heated rivalries in football. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, you heard that right. Eagles, Cowboys, Lincoln Financial Field, Week 1. But here's the question everybody's asking. Was this the right call by the NFL? Let's talk about it. Now, there's no denying this. From a TV ratings standpoint, the NFL hit the jackpot. Eagles versus Cowboys is a box office lock. This matchup doesn't just attract fans, it commands the attention of the entire country. Love them or hate them, both teams have some of the most passionate, vocal, and polarizing fan bases in all of sports. But just because something is going to pull big numbers, doesn't it mean it's the best football decision? And that's exactly where the controversy lies. Stephen A. Smith, never one to hold back, already weighed in, and he's not impressed. He thinks it's too early in the season for a divisional matchup of this magnitude. In his words, "I want to see a few games under their belt before a division rivalry takes place. It means so much." And you know what? He's got a point. We're talking about a game that could have serious playoff implications. The NFC East is always tight, and the margin for error is razor thin. Throwing a game like this into Week 1, when teams are still finding their rhythm, can distort the true balance of power in the division. You're basically asking both squads to treat Week 1 like it's December football. That is a tall order, even for veterans like Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. But on the flip side, maybe that's exactly what the league wants. Let's look at the storylines. On one side, you've got the reigning champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, fresh off a Super Bowl victory, is back under center. He's got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith on the wings, and a defense that's deeper, faster, and meaner than ever. Philly's front office didn't just reload, they upgraded, making moves in free agency and the draft that left analysts across the league in awe. But there's a small cloud on the horizon. Veteran offensive lineman Mailata is gone. That's a piece you can't replace easily. Will that affect Hurts's timing, protection? It's a small crack in what otherwise looks like an armored tank. And then there's Dallas. The Cowboys have everything to prove this year. Once again, the expectations are sky high, and once again, they've got to prove they can win when it matters most. Brian Schottenheimer takes the reins in year 1 as offensive coordinator, and fans are holding their breath, hoping he brings some much-needed consistency to a unit that had flashes of brilliance, but cannot seem to finish the job. CeeDee Lamb, stud. Tony Pollard, gone. New backfield, question mark. But what about Dak Prescott? This might be the biggest year of his career. If he goes to Philly and leads Dallas to a Week 1 victory, the narrative shifts. Suddenly, it's Dak is back. But if he comes out flat and gets swallowed up by that Philly defense, we're going to hear same old Cowboys before Sunday even kicks off. Historically, the Cowboys have fared well in recent Thursday night games, winning their last 7. But here's the kicker. They've lost their last 3 games in Philly. That's the stat that matters. This isn't just about ratings. This is about setting a tone for the entire season, for both teams, for the entire NFC East, for every team gunning for playoff seeding in a conference that's more competitive than ever. So, was it the right call? That depends on what you value. If you want spectacle, drama, chaos, then absolutely. The NFL got this right. This is the kind of matchup that sets social media on fire, that turns casual fans into diehards overnight. The league knows what it's doing when it puts the Eagles and Cowboys under the prime time lights to open the year. But if you believe the integrity of the divisional race matters, if you think we should let these teams warm up before throwing them into the fire, then maybe, just maybe, this was a little too soon. What do you think? Was this the best possible opener for the 2025 NFL season? Should the league have waited before giving us Eagles versus Cowboys? Or are you ready for blood from day one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from Eagles fans, Cowboys fans, and everyone in between. This channel is about conversation, debate, and real passion for the game we love. So don't hold back. And while you're here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of the action. We've got schedule breakdowns, player rankings, bold predictions, and in-depth analysis coming your way every week. This is just the beginning, folks. September 4th, Eagles, Cowboys. The fire is lit. The war begins. And the road to the Super Bowl starts with a bang.